already live on here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning to the Walk of Love Ministry, where it is a walk with God each and every day. It is so fun when you think you're on and you're not on, but we're already 22, 23 minutes in. So, Mandy, here we go. And Kristen, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for being here with us today. And Pastor Stephanie is listening on the other end and she's helping us. But I invited you ladies to come and tell us about a special event that's going to happen this Friday at Fort Campbell. But before we do, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at Fort Campbell? And then we'll get into what we're here to talk about the event this Friday.
Sure. Well, I can go first. My name is Mandy Dixon. I am the sponsorship and advertising executive for MWR. And if you're not aware, that stands for Morale, Welfare, and Recreation on Fort Campbell. So I help connect the community and organizations and businesses in the community with the Fort Campbell community and create partnership opportunities there.
Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Kristen Geist-Hodgkins, and I work for Army Community Service. I have a couple of different programs that I manage, including Army Family Team Building, Army Family Action Plan, and then the Army Volunteer Corps. So most of those are revolving around working with volunteers on the installation. My Army Family Team Building program is where Mandy comes into play and looking at some of the sponsorships to have some of our events. So all of my programs collectively, they call A programs. And so excited because I get to work with the military community and military spouses.
Well, tell us what's going on this Friday. I'm excited for the community to hear about it.
We are too.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate the opportunity to come today and talk about our Military Spouse Appreciation event coming up on 9 May. So back in 1984, Ronald Reagan made Military Spouse Appreciation Day a thing. And it now has the Friday before Mother's Day is always Military Spouse Appreciation Day. And for many years, ACS has provided an opportunity to bring in military spouses, men and women, to show our appreciation and our recognition for everything that they do. I think many times you hear the comment, one of the hardest jobs, or you serve as well as a military spouse. And in a sense, they do. They're following their soldier around, and we want them to know that everything that they do is appreciated, it's recognized, and it means a lot to not only their soldier, but to the entire community. So this event that we have coming up on Friday is, again, something that we've done for many years. And with the help of many sponsors like yourself and Bella's Closet, and some of the partners that we have on Fort Campbell, we're able to put together an event that allows spouses to just come in and relax, take care of themselves. Something I think that when they're taking care of their soldier, or they're taking care of their kids, or they're out there working or volunteering, taking care of themselves is something that falls to the bottom of the list.
Yes.
And so this is a day that we can allow them to come in, take part in some of the activities, and just let them know that they really are appreciated. So that's kind of the title of our event as well. You are appreciated. And we're looking forward to it. So Friday at ACS from 10:30 to 1:30, we will have a number of different sponsors and partners available for spouses to come in and meet with, interact with, and just get some goodies throughout the day.
And Mandy said it's sold out. I mean, you're already maxed out capacity.
Yes. It was a free event, but we had limited spots because there's only so much that can be provided. And yeah, it went quickly, didn't it? The registration.
Probably in about 24 hours.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, I was trying to remember the first time Bella's was part of this, and thank you for inviting us over the years because we enjoy going every time just to see the joy on their faces as they come in, and the team. I mean, from the flowers to the food, everything. It's well thought out, and it's like if this was me coming into space, what would I want to feel? And so it speaks volume to your hearts to serve, to give back, and The times we have been, Miss Carolyn, we lost her last October, and I remember when she came in, she was just blown away about, the committee, the love, just everything in general, how it was put together.
And that's part of it, right? It's not just the activities or even the giveaways. It's the atmosphere, it's the entire environment of people happy to be there and show that appreciation. And from everything from decor to just a greeting coming in the door, I think that means a lot. And can change. We talked a little bit earlier about your words matter, right? And so just interacting with people in a positive way.
What does it do for you as a committee and as a team when you see them come in? What does it do for you?
So, yes, there's a lot of work behind the scenes that puts something together, but I think that's also part of part of it because it shows us coming together as a team. So within ACS, we have all of our programs that participate. They help out in some way, whether it is staffing a table, doing a check-in, helping with decor, whatever it is, everybody pitches in. So that's a part of it as well. And then we have MWR that comes in and helps us to support, as well as all the partners and sponsors. And knowing that we can do that together and then be able to show that to our clients as well, to our spouses coming in the door. They see that cohesiveness. They see that people are positive and happy to be there and provide that service.
And one thing I noticed last time that we went that I thought was huge. Sometimes when the colonel or, the wife is a higher up, officer's wife, sometimes the lower enlisted wives come in and they just seem like, do I walk up? What I do? But what I notice is they come and embrace them. And it doesn't matter where their husband is on the rank of, colonel, general, they they embrace and put their arm around them, which I think is so sweet. It just shows like I started where you are. And now, just to let them know I'm here, which I think was to me, so impressive. And then the last one, I think we're at Coles Park. I think is when the last time we were there. And again, Mandy was sweet. And she said, not bring as much because, we have a tendency to bring a lot because we want to just give a lot out. And I think Faye and I were working diligently. Miss Carolyn wasn't with us at that time because she was in the hospital. And that committee, I wish I could remember their names, came up and said, Miss Pitts, let us help you. We'll just take over and we'll finish it for you. I said, are you sure? And they said yes. And so we came back the next day and we had all these purses. They had taken the jewelry and stuffed every purse and it looked fabulous, which gave us an idea in the next event that we did. What a great way to do it. And that was such a hit because they came and got the purses, but it was filled with jewelry in it. And I thought they, in their mind, could visualize and see it. And we came in, and I remember Faye and I looked like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And we felt a connection at that point. Like when those ladies came back, we embraced them. I hugged them. I thanked them because I was thinking I'm coming back to finish, loaded in, getting things ready. But the way the presentation of what they did, because they said they knew what someone else would love to receive. And it was that collaboration of those ladies doing that for us, which touched us, and we will never forget that.
That's so cool.
That's very sweet.
Yeah. And so today, after we finish today, you're going to go over and we're going to kind of pick some outfits out together to take for Friday. Are you excited about that?
I'm very excited. Some of our coworkers will come and assist with that process and being able to pick things out for people. Yeah, it's a blessing to be able to do that.
Yeah. On the Walk the Love podcast, one of the things that we've been doing is talking about people who made a difference in your life and why. And so I wanted us to talk about that because for us to get to know you, to know the people that have made a difference, because you're in a role right now where you're truly just making a difference in so many women's life. You're just empowering them to feel like they're like several probably away from home. They're not close to family. And really, you're becoming a family to them. So think about first, before we get into that question, because I want to go back because I forgot this one. Do you have a testimony of a spouse that stands out to you in having this appreciation day that you would like to share?
Mhm. I do actually. So last year for this event, I was actually on the marketing team. I wasn't yet in sponsorship and advertising, but we had one of our teammates helping out quite a bit with this event and with sponsorship. Because we're still looking for my position, which I was grateful to get. But at the time it was vacant. Her name was Chelsea, and she just had this huge amount of drive and passion, and she herself was a military spouse. In fact, the reason why she's not here now with us is that, of course, they PCS elsewhere. And I got this great insight just being close to her and seeing what she went through. Just the amount of resiliency that's needed and the amount of passion that's needed and energy just to keep up with what the military can throw at a family like that. And I mean, it's all for different reasons, of course, but it's a lot. At one point she didn't know for a few months whether she was going to PCS or not, and had to decide, where am I going to put my kids? Is it going to be overseas or is it going to be here? Is it going to be in this country or that country? I mean, they didn't know. And all while doing her best to provide great services through sponsorships, right, for this event and show her appreciation to other spouses. But her heart was totally in it. And a lot of our employees are spouses. So this is definitely one of those events that's dear to both of our team's hearts, right? Because a lot of them are spouses, they've been through it, or they used to be spouses, or they're veterans and they remember their spouses going through this. But Chelsea just had this huge heart. She was excited to be a part of it. She thought through details, she thought through, what is that experience going to be for spouses, right? What would I want, right? And that taught me a lot. It really did.
Mm-hmm. That she took the time to kind of give back herself.
Yeah.
Like, did she ever experience having a day like this? Like, she was the spouse coming into this?
We actually let her be off for part of that
That's neat.
day and go
Yeah.
experience the day as a spouse. And her face just lit up. And that's another part, is seeing just how happy and excited everybody is. They're looking through their bags of goodies, they're giggling, they're just like, and we have some male spouses too that are excited because there are things there that we provide for them also. And they're like, oh man, I got this cool thing, I mean, just seeing the excitement on their faces that someone thought about them and cared enough about them to put this on.
Well, so when after Chelsea went through that, were you able to talk to her to see what she would want to see better, or what did she thought was more impactful for her?
Yeah, there were a few things. Like last year, everyone got a rose as they came in,
That's what I remember.
and we realized that, she's saying it's kind of hard to know what to do with the rose when you've got bags and you're trying. So, this year we're pivoting, and we're gonna have the rose handed to everyone as they leave.
Right. See, just that one little
Just a little
tweak.
touch. You wouldn't think
Yes.
much of it.
No, because I remember the roses.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember that because Miss Carolyn thought that was a sweet touch.
Yeah.
Kristen, do you have someone that stands out to you?
Probably can echo what Mandy's talking about. We do have so many people on staff who have a dual role, or multi-hatted, I guess you'd say, because not only are they taking care of their soldier, but they're taking care of their kids and they're working. And events like this, or they're out there, but I think this is something where we put so much care and thought into something, trying to think what they want to do. And yes, that feedback from Chelsea as far as the rose at the end of the day, the positive feedback that we get is just overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right? It is an event specific for them,
Mm-hmm.
which most times when we're talking about the military, everything revolves around the soldier. You're here because of your soldier,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not your identity. right? So as a military spouse, you have your own identity, your special day. And I think that makes a difference in their minds. Not just in their minds, it just does. Um, Something just for them, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Just make them feel like, you're serving too. My husband says that all the time. We run into a military family. He, says thank you to the soldier, but then he looks right at the spouse and says thank you for your service as well.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
see the change in their eyes when he does that. And I'm thinking how sweet that is, because that's acknowledging her or him,
Yeah.
We have, excuse me, we have a class that's called I Married a Soldier Now What? We held one the other night, I think it was last Wednesday or Thursday. And we had two young ladies show up, and one's a fiance and one's already a spouse. And we went through the class, and there was, I will tell you, I don't remember exactly what the question was, but it was something along the lines of um, being a part of the military family. I'm like, you are now a part of the military family. As a fiance or a spouse, you are now one of us in a sense. The bigger picture as far as the overall army, but then of course the Fort Campbell community as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had worked at 1 year, and I don't remember the year, a job fair at Fort Campbell, and we were in this little room, but we, again, we had everything in that room, and they had people out in that hall area to apply for a position, for a job search, and this beautiful young girl came in. I wish I could remember her name, and she had holes in her jeans, and she didn't know that she could actually go out there and talk, to see if she could get a job. And she come in, and Miss Carolyn just grabbed her up. She says, "Honey, come here, let me help you find an outfit to go out there to find you a job." And so she found this beautiful suit. She goes out, and she ends up landing a job that day.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And she went out, and she was just so proud. She had her shoulders back. And then another one came in for after being in a workout class, and she didn't know that she had the opportunity to go around to the different tables and see opportunities. And so she came in as well and got an outfit, came back and got several clothes. But the joy of watching them go out equipped and maybe not financially have the money to go and get what they needed to be able to feel like they can dress and feel successful going out there. So let's go and let's pivot a little bit, and let's go back and talk about the people who have made a difference in your life and why. And I think about someone or several people. It could be from you were in school, in college, now it could be several different people. But I'm going to start with you, Kristen.
Okay.
People who have made a difference in your life and why.
So when I first got here to Fort Campbell, I started working for Workforce Essentials and helping people with finding jobs. And I did that for a couple of years. And during that time, I met Miss Sharon, and she was working with Army Community Service in the Employment Readiness Program. And we became friends. And in a couple of years, when a job opportunity came open and I was able to apply, Miss Sharon was my supervisor at the time. And she has, like, it's almost like given an opportunity. And I think that's usually the case for a lot of people. You just need a foot in the door. And so, yes, I have the background after working with Workforce Essentials and being a military spouse. So the idea of being able to come on board and assist individuals in finding employment, preparing them to go out into the workforce. I learned a lot from Miss Sharon. She is a retiree, and she had been doing that job for several years as well. And so she kind of just took me under her wing. And I was able to learn quite a bit, not only about the job from her, but just being a good person. And how to treat people, sometimes looking at things from a different perspective. And so I'm here today in what I do because of Miss Sharon. So she really has I don't even think she knows that. I feel like I may have told her, but sometimes we think that people know those sorts of things and they don't. So this is a reminder that I need to reach out to her and make sure that she knows what an impact that she's made on my life.
I think
Yeah.
that would help Miss Sharon. Sometimes when we do things for others or we try to impart, if it's just a little bit of wisdom here and there, when that person comes around and tells you, you're thinking, oh, that just meant you didn't know that one word or something said help that person in that time of their life to either go right or go left or just to be still and wait.
Yeah.
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 Okay, Miss Mandy, people have made a difference in your life and why?
This is a hard one because I feel like I've been really thankfully blessed with a lot of people in my life who have made a lot of differences. My mom is definitely one of the biggest ones, but I was thinking about it, and when I first moved here 2 years ago, I didn't know anyone at all. And I am not military affiliated, which is rare in this town, I'm learning. But I got the job on, usajobs.gov, and that in itself apparently is a miracle because, I don't have any military affiliation, but I do have, marketing background and things like that. But the lady who hired me, Regina, she is just this very inspiring, warm-hearted, loving person. And she kind of took me under her wing. She said, don't worry, you're not alone. If you need to know what to do in Clarksville, I can show you, right? And so I've been able to experience things and go, find restaurants, and she's invited me to networking events, and I've just been able to meet so many people through her. And she's also an artist, thinks completely differently than I do. I'm very process oriented, and she's just one of those visionaries that can see, what about this that's way over here outside the box? And it's expanded my way of thinking a lot.
Yeah.
So I could go on for a while about Regina because she's just this ball of energy and light. But she's blessed my life so much.
Well, let's go back a little bit. Think about a teacher. A teacher in your life that changed, made a difference in your life. And why?
A teacher. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Yeah. I don't know if I can go back to high school or grade school or even college. Um, but just thinking about, so I'm a veteran as well. And I went to DLI, Defense Language Institute out in Monterey. So the instructors that they have out there, usually native speakers and things like that, just being able, and I would collectively put them all in the same category. Just the job that they do and being able to impart their language skills on someone, what an impact learning a different language can do. So maybe not a teacher per se, but yes, if that makes sense, but just in what they're teaching and being able to help people learn something other than what their um, first language is.
So many languages do you speak?
Oh goodness, I one. So it's been many, many years, and unfortunately, I will say when we don't use it every day. I do remember a story though when we were overseas and we were in a Chinese restaurant, and I think we were in Ireland, right? And uh, our friend spoke Chinese Mandarin, and we're in the restaurant, and he's talking to the server in Chinese, and the server was just kind of looking at him like, I don't think I understand what you're saying, and but there have been several times being in a restaurant and I asked for something and my husband's just looking at me like, what are you talking about in Germany, right? And what what are you saying? And then I stop and I think, oh, I just said that in Russian, not in German, right? So
Wow.
it does, and we have several people on staff who are truly multilingual, which has been very helpful in the way their minds work of being able to go, like
It's
they'll
so
just
impressive
switch
to me.
right from one
Yes.
language into another. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm very, very jealous.
So how many years did you serve?
4.
4 years.
Yes,
Well,
only
thank you for
4.
your service.
Only
Yes.
4.
That's awesome.
So you
Yeah.
kind of know both sides, like where the wife is and being as, serving in the military. I just, I think about just sitting here and just thinking, now that's a little bit about you more I know about you. It's just neat to hear people's stories because your stories have something to say. And when you tell your story, it helps someone else. Because I'm thinking about you are going to make a difference in every one of those ladies that come in on Friday when they walk in. They might not specifically know your name, but they're going to know this person that smiled at me when I came through the door, that you're going to change their life. If it's the first time they walk through that door, it's going to be something about the warmth of a smile or an encouraging word. We're so glad that you're here. And to think you are truly making a difference this Friday. And what, 200 women? 200 women and spouses to make a difference in their life.
Yeah.
What an impact to me that is. Just taking the time because it's not easy putting that event together, is it? It's a lot of hard work.
It's a team effort for sure.
You all have to. The team has to be on the same page. Don't you think? You all have to have the goals and to think this is for this. If it's one person that walks through the door, it's for that one person. But 200 people are coming in. I know it had to be hard to turn away when you knew you hit your max.
It is hard. And we actually, I'd love to talk about a little bit more another whole part of this. This is one of our events that relies very heavily on the sponsors from our community. And it's different than other events. Some events that they're generous and they contribute cash money and we put our logo up there and it helps support the event behind the scenes that way. But this one, truly, so many of our sponsors have a very active role in it. And we talk to them like, here's a theme, here's what we're going for. What's a good activity that you can bring to actually interact with spouses and provide something fun. So we've got like Blue Cross Blue Shield brings out a gratitude board area and massage chairs. We've got Instant Teams, that's our new sponsor this year. They actually are a company who helps spouses find remote jobs that go with them as they, deploy.
Wow, that is awesome.
It's amazing. Forterra is one of our biggest sponsors at MWR. They always find something fun to contribute. The exchange, USAA. We also have Tropical Smoothie Cafe bringing some samples. Like,
You'll love that.
and the Sato Biz
Yeah.
Cash, right? Like they're actually playing an active part in this event to make it what it is, Bella's Closet. And I can't not mention Austin's Beauty College.
Right.
I mean, they are doing like hand massages and mini facials and styling hair, like just totally going all out to make our spouses feel special. And it's a big contribution on their part to do that. They bring their students, so it's also a learning day.
Yeah.
Like there's so many active players in this.
And so with a lot of those Austin students, many of those are military spouses as well.
Yes.
So they're able to come and provide an activity
Yeah.
support to their own military community as well. And then we talked earlier about the Roses, so Campbell
Yes,
Crossing
thank you.
is our sponsor that provides that. Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts is
yeah.
bringing donuts and iced coffee.
Yeah.
There's a huge list of sponsors from,
Yeah.
and I think that speaks to what's different about the Fort Campbell community, from what I understand, than other installations. We actually have a very supportive community. Like a lot of, I think it's 30 to 35% of soldiers stationed here end up staying here.
Yes.
And they're in the community and they are giving back. They're actively participating in that. And that's been, talking about teachers, I've learned so much from our community just since August, since I've been in this role, about how to give back, how to serve our servers, how to serve the ones who are serving.
Yes.
and then that includes you, you know, and Bella's Closet and what you guys are doing. It's inspiring. It makes all this hard work, and you know, you work hard too. It makes it worth it.
Yeah. Actually, when you see the community come out with such excitement, it has to do something to the families they're in. Like, they came from the community to come do this for me today. It speaks volume that the community, the connection. I know my husband loves the connection. I thought Campbell was a family. You know, it's letting us come and be a part of the Fort Campbell family. If it's that one day, it's given us the opportunity to come in and just see the faces of these precious ladies or the husband, you know, just to see what they do each and every day. So for us, it means a lot to us to be invited because we feel like we're coming in just to be a part of something of someone we might not ever meet again, but that one time we can just say, "Hi, can I help you? Let me show you what we have today," and watch them go out with their shoulders back a little bit further, and they're just feeling like they're going to the next table to see what it is that they're given to them today, which should change their life and will hopefully make them feel like they're very special today. So thank y'all so much for getting up early. Because I know it's early, Mandy, but she's got her coffee with her this morning, and for coming in last week. Because I was telling you, you know, you just made a big difference with our, you know, Miss Faye and Miss Renee, seeing you, and you were so sweet coming in and just saying, "I know it's last minute, but it's like we're going to make this happen." You know,
Yep.
you just came in, and we just appreciate you doing that. And just know if we're not there physically on Friday, we'll be praying for the event. That'll be great. I know it's going to be great, and I cannot wait to hear. And I'm excited about 9 o'clock us going in here and picking up clothes to take over there. Thank you so much for joining us on the Walk Love Ministry podcast this morning and for getting to meet Kristen and Mandy. Be in prayer for them for Friday and just pray for the families that are our families that get up each and every day to serve, and their husbands or their wife is going out to serve our nation. So be praying for them, and just thank you again for joining us, and hope to see you Wednesday on Worship Wednesday. Have a blessed day. John, I have prayed for you today, and we know it's going to be an amazing day today. God bless you.